It depends on how you measure strength and power and what you mean for power and strength. Agricultural policies always have been essential to ensure basic public objectives, in first place food security, but also public environmental goods. In this sense, the CAP is a sound agricultural policy. If a country wants to play a role in a global scenario, must have a sound agricultural policy. According to a recent World Bank assessment, the CAP performs quite well in economic and social terms. At the same time, the pace and the progression in the provision of environmental public goods has slowed down recently. On the external front, the CAP contributes to the fact that the European Union is a global trade power in the agri-food sector. Since 2010, the European Union is a net exporter of agricultural and food products in value. And this makes the EU also a point of reference and gives the EU a global leading when it comes to production and marketing standards. So the common agricultural policy is an essential part of the influence and the power that the EU has at global level. On the other side, we have also some vulnerabilities. For instance, the EU has a significant dependence on import of plant protein for feeds. And so far the CAP, that could not do much to change this situation. A second issue is that the EU trade and agricultural power has thrived in a phase in which multilateralism was the norm. What happens if the WTO crisis worsens and these trade orders collapses? Is the CAP framework quick enough to adapt to a situation in which uncertainty and increasing climate and market risks for farmers could be the new normal? In this context, the von der Leyen Commission is launching the European Green Deal that will require a greening of the CAP as well as other EU policies. This is a geopolitical move. It doesn't seem so, but it is a geopolitical move to make the EU leading on the global multilateral framework of the Paris Agreement on climate. So it is a move that brings multilateralism back to the center, or at least it tries to do so. Mitigation and adaptation to climate change are the most urgent challenge for European agriculture. In this context, the European Green Deal wants to support the agriculture in the mitigation and adaptation strategies, but also you want to renovate the role of the European Union as a point of reference for standards in global trade. How? Proposing to expand the concept of quality of food. The current trade leadership is related to the fact that the rest of the world recognizes the quality of EU production in terms of products. The European Green Deal proposes to expand this concept and include environmental, climate, social sustainability. So a concept of quality that is a total quality, let's say, in the product and in the process. Compared to the other agricultural policies of especially of the emerging powers in the world, the CAP is already very green. And it's a big challenge to be greener, in a sense. But it must be tackled. There is no alternative, because this is the way to renovate the leadership also in trade. The story of the geographical indication food products is a sort of summary of what we have said so far. Conceived as a defensive tool in trade in the 1990s, the GIs have become an offensive interest in every trade negotiation brought by the EU. Despite being a small portion of the EU exports in volume, they are premium products bringing high value from global markets to local territories. The EU transformed this system that was born to protect some traditional products in a tool to promote the golden standard of EU agri-food production. The EU approach on GIs in trade is still controversial. It's clear that, for instance, for the EU's trade and administration, the EU approach on GIs is pure protectionism, and the situation could worsen. But in this context, in this situation, an increasing number of GI consortia, especially those able to export in global markets, wants to expand the concept of food quality towards the same direction we have seen for the European Green Deal. They want to add environmental, social, economic, and sometimes ethical, animal welfare related, for instance, aspects to the traditional definition of food quality that is based on territory, history, and savoir-faire. In doing this, they seem to be ready to interpret the new economic and environmental challenges of the European Green Deal and of the global markets.